capital person. Good evening and welcome to King's News Broom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and elsewhere. And I'm Stephen Ponton Angore. In the headlines, mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital demands justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. Ministry of Education announces the procurement and distribution of 6,000 high-quality armchairs for senior secondary school students across the country. Former President and war icon George Weah and entourage will be in Nimba County this weekend for the funeral and burial of the late Senator Prince Johnson, who will be buried tomorrow Saturday. And away from home, U.S. sanctioned Sudan Army Chief Burhan over civilian deaths. Details of these developments, the news bulletin, and actual voices of those behind the news are all packaged into this presentation of the news program. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back, and up next is the Bulletin of News with Newton Topa.
The mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital is demanding justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. The 21-year-old Benedict Williams was pronounced dead recently by health workers at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Congotown following a surgical operation. However, the hospital's authority, through a representative who visited the deceased mother, disdained they have facilitated from the allegations linking them to the victim's death. But contrary to the hospital's claim, the deceased mother continued to cry out for justice, noting that her child was killed as a result of the alleged carelessness of the health workers during the surgical operation, which resulted in her son's death. Meanwhile, she is calling on the government and civil society organizations to probe into the situation and ensure justice is served in her son's demise. The Ministry of Education has announced the procurement and distribution of 6,000 high-quality armchairs for senior secondary school students across the country. The initiative, according to the ministry, also includes the provision of 120 desks and 120 chairs for teachers, ensuring a more organized and conducive learning environment. Speaking Friday at a special ceremony marking the arrival Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jalan asserted that the furniture will be instrumental in improving students' academic performance by providing a more comfortable and effective learning space. She also underscored the importance of the initiative as part of a broader vision to modernize the country's educational system. Minister Jalat furthered that the procurement and distribution of these armchairs and furniture are not only vital for enhancing the physical learning environment, but also demonstrate the ministry's strong commitment to providing students with access to top-tier resources that will help foster academic excellence. The Liberian Education Minister at the same time expressed her team's commitment to the long-term development of Liberia's youth and the future of the nation through transformative initiatives at the ministry. It is now official that former Liberian President George Weah will be in Nimba County this week for the funeral and burial of Senator Prince Johnson. Senator Johnson died on November 28 at the age of 72. Former President George Weah said, given the family ties he has with the Johnsons, he cannot stay off the funeral rites of his former Senate colleague, Senator Prince Johnson. According to him, the late senator married to his niece, and he and Senator Prince Johnson shared a unique bond of friendship while he was senator and later became president. The body of Senator Johnson is now in Nimba County for burial this week. Government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, on Friday unveiled 21 vehicles and a 30-seated bus for county attorneys as part of an initiative aimed at strengthening access to justice across the country. At the unveiling ceremony, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Liberia, Councillor Oswald Tuet, stated that the vehicles are intended to support the work of Liberia's county attorneys at enhancing access to justice, empower legal professionals, and ensure the efficient delivery of justice nationwide. Minister Tuet emphasized that the unveiling ceremony is the first time about 15 years the first time over 15 years that the country's attorney have been provided with such essential tools to effectively carry out their duties. He explained that these vehicles are part of a broader initiative to improve the welfare of Liberia's legal professionals, ensuring they have the resources needed to serve their communities with dignity and efficiency, thus emphasizing the importance of engaging with local communities and ensuring the justice system is not only effective but also perceived as just by all Liberians. Minister Tuat also expressed gratitude to President Joseph Boakai, the Minister of Finance, and the National Legislature for their unwavering support to the rule of law. In another development, Minister Oswald Tuat disclosed that there has been independent investigators to probe the fire outbreak at the Capitol building. He stated that an investigation is currently underway into the deliberate fire that occurred on December 18, 2024 at the Capitol building. The Justice Minister also confirmed that the Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the Ministry of Internal Affairs and other national partners, is conducting a thorough investigation. The minister vowed that anyone found responsible for the criminal act will be held accountable in accordance with the law. The Justice Minister and Attorney General reiterated that the government is committed to upholding the rule of law, ensuring access to justice for all Liberians, and fostering a culture of accountability and transparency within the nation's legal institutions. Workers of the National Elections Commission have thanked President Joseph Jumon Boakai for suspending indefinitely the chairperson of the commission, Deviata Brown Lassana. She is suspended for what the president described as disrupted behavior to trust and stability, as well as taking unilateral decisions which led to a series of protests at the commission and created a toxic working condition. Addressing a news conference Friday at the commission headquarters on 9th Street, they said they say they say through their spokesperson, Deviata Brown Lassana, provided sufficient reasons for her removal as head of the commission, but the goodwill of President Boakai only led to her suspension. According to them, the indefinite suspension of Deviata Brown Lassana has brought a great relief to the entire workforce of the National Elections Commission, especially the 25 employees she dismissed unilaterally. They also said Madame Deviata Brown Lassana was greedy enough to have put herself on all the committees of the National Elections Commission as head, taking control unto herself everything expenditure and procurement of the commission. Monterey County Senator Sir Joseph has raised an alarm over the failure of the past and current governments of Liberia through the Liberia National Fire Service to procure nearly US 2 million firefighting equipment intended to combat against fire incidents across the country. The Congress for Democratic Change lawmaker disclosed that since money was allocated in the national budget for fiscal year 2024, the purchasing of firefighting equipment, including trucks and the training of personnel, the LNFS has not procured any equipment to enhance its operation. Senator Joseph maintained that fire incidents continue to destroy lives and properties of citizens, especially ordinary Liberians who are encountering severe hardship and economic challenges in the country. It disclosed that though authorities at the Liberia National Fire Service conducted a competitive bidding process and awarded contracts to several companies to procure firefighting equipment, those equipment are yet to arrive in Liberia to address the growing wave of fire disasters. A marketer who sells at the Waterside Market identified as Winnie Woods has accused a man identified as Usman Diallo of plotting to relocate her table at the Waterside Market. Woods noted that she has constantly been intimidated by Diallo on several occasions to leave from where she sells. Currently, on grounds that her business is preventing customers from entering his store. After a pre-trial conference held between the two parties some months back by the West Point Magisterial Court, the court has issued an inventory order to remove Winnie Woods if she sells in front of Diallo's store. She is therefore calling on the government of Liberia through the Liberian Marketing Association to intervene as she has nowhere to go other than where she sells. For his part, Usman Diallo emphasized that Winnie is always in the constant habit of putting her clothes in front of his store, thereby stopping his customer entrance. He further noted that Winnie has boasted of knowing top government officials, describing him as a foreigner, which has led to her unruly behavior. The National Identification Registry has officially launched the registration of case under 6 years for national identification numbers and national identification cards. Speaking at the launching ceremony held at the John F. Kennedy Hospital in Monrovia on Thursday, NRR Executive Director Andrew Peters disclosed that over 500,000 children under the age of 5 years will benefit from this initiative. According to him, the European process will give children the opportunity to be recognized and be issued national identification numbers by government. The NRR board described the launch as a historic achievement for the government, and it is expected to be taken to the 15 counties of Liberia. The launch was held at the GFK conference room in Monrovia under the theme Enhancing Visibility Through National Identification Documents. The Environmental Protection Agency has reportedly developed a number of regulatory instruments aimed at protecting the environment in Liberia. EPA's Executive Director Dr. Emmanuel Yapaulo disclosed that on December 13, 2024, the Policy Council of the EPA approved several count environmental regulations in order to protect the environment. Dr. Yapaulo made a statement at the opening of a two-day roundtable discussion organized by the Green Advocates International in partnership with the World Resources International and funding from the United States Department in Monrovia on Thursday. He named the regulations covered air quality, wetland, solid quality, solid waste, radiation, landfill, and water quality. He remarks the project lead at the Green Advocates International, Peter Kokwe, disclosed that the training of grassroots environmental defenders will be taken to the 15 counties of the country. According to him, 75 grassroots environmental defenders will be trained throughout the country, and each organization will be given a summer grant by the U.S. State Department. The roundtable discussion brought together prominent lecturers, including Councillors Tilwan Gongolo, Lamin Bagwe, Tonia Wills, Afonso Zion, among others. The Speaker of the Majority Bloc of the House of Representatives, Richard Kun, has pledged the initial amount of 3,000 United States dollars to the Nakita D4 School of Health Sciences at the Bushra College of Science and Technology. The contribution by Representative Kun is his way of buttressing the efforts of the Bushra College of Science and Technology as the school continues to provide quality and affordable higher education for Liberian students. Speaking through a Prosit Mosid Kwahi Wednesday during the school's pin and cap of over 100 midwives and physician assistants, Representative Kun admonished the medical student to always avoid the too much use of social media while on duty and constantly pay attention to patients seeking medical attention. It also urged the student to be guided by the understanding that their service is a contribution to the well-being of the society. For his part, the president of the Bushwood College of Science and Technology, Dr. Edward Fall, lauded Representative Kuhn for his kind gesture to the school, stressing that the Montserrat County lawmaker is the second person since the establishment to contribute to the school in providing higher education to our students. The Workers' Union of the Liberia Broadcasting System has given its Director General Eugene Fagon a 72-hour ultimatum to address prevailing issues affecting the members of the union or risk a vote of no confidence. According to the union's president, Joseph Sion, since the appointment of Director Fagon, the workers of the state broadcasting system have been marginalized and deprived of their benefits and other incentives. He accused Falcons of using his relationship with President Joseph Boakai and the Information Minister Gerald McPia to suppress and intimidate them from speaking out about the prevailing situations they face within the entity. Sayan described the leadership of Falcon as autocratic, adding that they had been enslaved and subjected to psychological torture. He further accused the leadership of Falcon of rampant corruption, noting that he has increased his weekly allowances from 750 United States dollars to 1,500 United States dollars. The worker union of the Liberal Broadcasting System president made the assertion Tuesday at a press conference in Painesville. United Blind Association of Liberia has elected new corps or officers to govern the affairs of the organization. Those elected are the Wilfred Jiwon, President, Vani Momo, Vice President, David Bobo, Secretary, and Emmanuel Yapa, Financial Secretary. Others are Bian Flomo, County Officer, David Nankwe, Youth President Blackie Benson, Treasurer, and Madam Hannah B. Champlain. He remarks President-elect Wilfred Juan thanked supporters and all participating individuals for the successful process, urging them to unite. According to Juan, his priority will be to reconcile and call for a roundtable dialogue that with all members and let go of the election crisis followed by rebuilding of the school of the blind. And the Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, has criticized Liberia's Information Minister Jeremy Pia, accusing him of neglecting pressing national issues in favor of targeting media practitioners. In a social media statement, Koji described Minister Pia as a spineless, parasitic creature who engages in verbal ejaculation rather than addressing Liberia's deepening crisis. He alleged that the citizens are being kidnapped and subjected to torture while fear and lawlessness grab the nation. It can be recorded recently at the press briefing held Tuesday in Monrovia. Minister Pierre expressed concern about what he termed as hijacking of the Liberian media by non-professionals, urging professional journalists to reclaim control of the industry, noting that the credibility of the media is at stake. However, Koji dismissed Pierre's remarks, calling them misplaced priorities, adding that the government should focus on addressing the dire economic conditions and the worsening hardship faced by Liberians.
Nathan Toba, and the news bulletin is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. And in one of our top developments this evening, mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital demands justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back, and thanks for rejoining us. Let's now take our first development. The mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital is demanding justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. 21-year-old Benentus Williams was pronounced dead recently by health workers at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Congotown following a surgical operation. However, the hospital's authority, through a representative who visited the deceased mother, distanced the health facility from all allegations linking them to the victim's death.
So the typhoid now has struck. That means before they have a root before the title we have to stop the stopping fresh. How we stop our flow of seeing the atmosphere. The garden never touch the patient because the patient was sitting over to him to say intent awareness when the anesthesia were introduced, the patient reacted from the anesthesia. So he can see push. That is access. But we admit that anesthesia was given to him and he reacted from the anesthesia. And they go after. We are deeply sorry that it happened and our intent was good. The reason why our intent was good because there were other hospitals, there were other healthcare facilities that the family or the mother were able, she could have gone to, but she chose us above all. And we ourselves too, we were never to be satisfied. The end of the patient, any other people that come to our aid, that trust us and come to our aid. And then it happened this year. So we came, I came as a team leader, say we are shipping Sam. You are never mind. Yes, he was well with us. Yes, we accepted him and he had very good acting. But the surgery will never perform.
But contrary to the hospital's claim, the deceased mother continues to cry out for justice, noting that her son was killed as a result of the alleged carelessness of the health workers during the surgical operation.
No one get me here. No one get me. No one get my child get me too. No people not. What get me? What get my son carry for? What get my son carry? No, I beg you, leave me. I want to for the thing I have to know. Leave me. Oh, yeah, leave me. I'm not for this. I want to my heart for. I'm not doing that. I want to my foot. I want to my foot. I want not to wear. I'm not doing that. That people tell us that. I want not to wear. I'm a good child. That's no answer about my son. That's no answer for me. That people that get is coming up. They get my child. Why you think that? No. That's not about it. That's leave me. I want to my foot. I want not to wear. I get me bad. I get my own child. No, you get that.
Ora document. Ora document. Go photocopy. Photocopy. Mohammed said photocopy.
I know people here. Then I get it from me. Come on, chat. Then I get people material. I see expire. They come and chat and they do expire. Be hospital. I want not to wait. They come and chat. I waiting for them. I will wait for them. I will get.
What will happen for them?
No, I was. Don't get me here.
Veronica Tia is the mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital there speaking. Earlier, he listened to a representative of the hospital who distanced the health facility from all allegations linking them to the victim's death. The Ministry of Education has announced the procurement and distribution of 6,000 high-quality armchairs for senior secondary school students across the country. The initiative, according to the Ministry of Education, also includes the provision of 120 desks and 120 chairs for teachers, ensuring a more organized and conducive learning environment. Speaking Friday at a special ceremony marking the arrival of the materials, Education Minister Dr. Jaiso Jalai asserted that the furniture will be instrumental in improving students' academic performances by providing a more comfortable and effective learning space.
What we have embarked on as a team at the Ministry of Education is one of a transformational journey. And that journey is to modernize our classrooms. And this is what we are seeing in the first batch of deployment of these chairs. Yes, it's only 6,000 at this point, but we are procuring more as the year, an opportunity that has been provided for us through the ARAS project. We have taken on the responsibility as a government that through our government budgetary purposes and appropriations and allotment, that we will use government funding as well to continue to procure these items. We will also look to not only import these shares. We have vendors that are in country. We want to promote Liberian businesses. So we will ensure that while we import, we also have investing in Liberian businesses. So the next tranche of these shares will look not only at some imported, but will look at some locally made to be able to sustain them over time.
The Liberian education minister at the same time expressed her team's continued commitment to the long-term development of Liberia's youth and the future of the nation through transformative initiatives at the ministry.
Intend to continue the transformational journey in our schools, in the lady who procured. We want to build our classrooms with blackboards that are hurting our teachers' eyes when they talk, right? So these blackboards are going to be our cylinder. We get into the classrooms, the teachers don't even have adequate places to sit. So these desks are what we have procured for them so that they are all presentable with dignity and respect. And something this work, I know the team at MOE, they are eager to deliver for the Liberian people, and this is just a small example of doing so. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Liberia Education Minister Jaso Jalade speaking. And with half an hour now past the news presentation, this is a reminder that you are listening to King's Newsroom, 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. And the top developments we are following this evening: mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioner at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital demands justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. Ministry of Education announces the procurement and distribution of 6,000 high-quality armchairs for senior secondary school students across the country. Former President and war icon George Weah and Interrush will be in Nima County this weekend for the burial and funeral of late Senator Prince Johnson, who will be buried tomorrow Saturday. Away from the home soil, U.S. sanctioned Sudan Army Chief Buhari over civilian deaths. A very short break, and we'll come back, we'll bring you more developments. To this next development, government of Liberia through the Ministry of Justice on Friday unveiled 21 vehicles and a 30-seater bus for county attorneys as part of an initiative aimed at strengthening access to justice across the country. At the unveiling ceremony, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Liberia, Councillor Oswald Tue, stated that the vehicles are intended to support the work of Liberia's county attorneys at enhancing access to justice, empowerment legal professionals, and ensure the efficient delivery of justice nationwide.
Today marks a very significant milestone, not only for our prosecution department, but also for the pursuit of justice in our beloved nation. As the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, it is a privilege to stand before you on this special occasion to dedicate these newly acquired vehicles to the one for our county attorneys and legal counsel. An essential step that echoes our commitment to ensuring that justice is served fairly efficiently. When I took on the responsibilities of this position, I recognize that the strength of our justice system lies in the hands of those who work tirelessly to uphold the law. I am proud to say that after more than a protracted period, estimate of more than 15 years, what it means to adequately fulfill their duties, we have taken the initiative to equip our county attorneys with the resources they need. Resources that will empower them to serve their communities with dignity and effectiveness. It was very disheartening when I heard our dedicated legal professionals were riding motorcycles to the front line of justice. Today, we have closed that chapter. We are not only providing vehicles, we are restoring respect, facilitating mobility, and reaffirming our faith in the ability of our county attorneys to carry out their very important work. We are equipping our county attorneys to venture into their counties, to connect, to listen, and most importantly, execute their duty with all the impediments that previously hindered their efforts.
In another development, Minister Twe disclosed that there have been independent investigators to probe the fire outbreak at the Capitol building. He stated that an investigation is currently underway into the deliberate fire that occurred on December 18, 2024 at the Capitol building.
The Ministry of Justice have been closely monitoring and observing with great concern statements, comments, assertions, and utterances by individuals and organizations in our society relative to allegations of torture in the ongoing action investigation of fire incident that occurred at Capitol on December 18, 2024. That resulted in the burning of the rotunda of the Capitol building. The Ministry of Justice wishes to inform the public and its international partners that these statements, comments, and utterances are false, condemnable, and borders on undermining the investigation efforts being made by law enforcement to investigate the fire incident. This government, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, on Tuesday, invited an independent and impartial investigation into these allegations of torture. And the government stands by that. This government condemns such statement, which threatens to disrupt the fragile peace our nation has worked tirelessly to maintain. These false claims are indicative of this concerted pattern of disinformation that seeks to incite fear or arrest among the citizens. We emphasize that the safety and security of the Nigerian people remain our paramount concern. The investigation has shown that the fire incident was an arson attack, which is a felony on our criminal law. The Ministry of Justice hereby strongly states that it will not shield or fail to arrest any individual who the investigation reveals play a role in the commission of the crime of arson in that incident. If any person is implicated, be it a lawmaker or not, that person will face the full weight of the law, like any ordinary person.
Workers of the National Elections Commission have thanked President Joseph Boakai for suspending indefinitely the chairperson of the commission, David Eto Brown Lassanan. She is suspended for what the president described as disrupted behavior to trust and stability, as well as taking unilateral decisions which led to a series of protests at the commission and created a toxic working environment. Here is one of the workers speaking.
Staff of the National Elections Commission have come with profound thanks to the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, for the bold and decisive step taken for the indefinite suspension of the chairperson, Madam David Eto Brown Lassanan. The President acted within the scope of his legal authority as provided by law, because the law provides for the removal of the next chairperson for a cause. In the instant case, Madam Chairperson has provided adequate reasons for her own removal, but the President, being as generous as he is, rewarded her with an indefinite suspension in order to restore calm and stability to the Commission. This news has brought relief to the entire workforce, especially the 25 dismissed employees. There are concerns out there, however, in the public regarding the justification of the chairperson's suspension that we believe we need to address. Over the period of 5 years, the workforce has experienced nothing but an authoritarian rule at the hands of Chairperson Lassanan, characterized by wanton corruption, for which she was indicted by the LEC. Staff are treated with no respect to the point where, when opinions are expressed in meetings, it is treated as an affront and subjected to internal investigation and eventually leads to dismissal.
The group, through their spokesperson, also said Mana Davis Eto Brown Lassanan was greedy enough to have put herself on all the committees of the National Elections Commission as head, taking control onto herself every expenditure and procurement of the commission.
This chairperson was head of the budget committee. This is in the 2023 general elections. She was head of the budget committee, cash committee, procurement committee. She single-handedly headed everything that had to do with cash, procurement, and the rest.
Yeah.
To an extent where she concocted arrangements to remove monies from the commission's account with no delivery of election materials. Yes. Through unique solution, a firm with no history of delivering election materials, owned and operated by a businessman called Daniel Koluba. We know for a fact that this same Koluba has provided a non-functional solar system to the commission that is worth over 200,000 United States dollars. The same Koluba, as a kickback to his full deal, provided a complete set of solar system to the homes and businesses of both the chairperson and the executive director, Mr. Anthony K. City.
Spokesperson of the NEC workers there speaking. To this next development, a marketer who sells at the Waterside Market identified as Winnie Woods has accused a man identified as Usman Diallo of plotting to relocate her table at the Waterside Market, who's noted that she has constantly been intimidated by Diallo on several occasions to leave from where she currently sells on grounds that her business is preventing customers from entering his store.
Yeah, let's say what I see here. My mama tell what from the town was small. I want to tell where I go to school. I feel I'm not going to school. So let my mama head you. Mama get eyes from me. So she stopped staring. I was what she said. I also the tell. Why also the tell? I know what kind of problem between the flamme. All the people they have no people be completely about the flamme. I said, Mama, get out. The flap say, I'm not saying the toy. Say, who gave me the tail? Who gave me the tail? I said, I'm not saying. If what to the court, came into the court. The court, what's my court? They just saw the fact that the flap were fat cheap at tail. And I want the flap away. So he said, case of Joshua now. You know, we may please make a flap or stop me. So I said, but I don't stop me for myself. I can't see as I said, and I agree. I'm an uncle. I am a baby boy. I am a baby boy. I say I'm upset because I don't want to be away. The person can't agree. The boy talk on you for over 3 hours. The learner, what you looking for? The learner talk on you. He said, get away. He said, get away. And I said,
for his part, Usman Diallo emphasized that winning is always in a constant habit of putting her clothes in front of his store, thereby stopping his customer from entering.
This case we started almost 6 months ago. This lady was on this table here. They brought her here because I was traveling. I was not here. They brought her here. So we came. So she started parking. She's selling DK. So she was parking in front of our store. When we told her, we said, if you're parking here, park it on your table. Don't park it in front of our store. Because if you park in front of our store, you block our customer. Okay. The first day, she said, okay, no problem. But the second day, the third day, she started refusing. She refused. So she started parking her clothes in front of our entrance. So when we called the police, we asked the police, you tell the woman, let she park the clothes on her table where she paid for. Not our entrance, because we do paying taxes here. She refused it. She can't listen to the police. So already now at the table, I think they can put iron and hand clothes. So she park on the table and she park in front of our entrance. So we say, the way you're doing you block our customer because we here, we paying taxes. We got reserved here. But right back on your table. See, we call the first police talk to her, say she can't agree, she can't listen to it. We involved the LMA Kim several times, 4 times. Avaso, be to yourself. Stop coming, intruding the people place. She refused. So the last time, dirty water right in front of our store here. She swept the water from down because it was going the water can go down. She swept it from down. She brought out, she flashed in our store. So I went, I called LMA. I said, you see, the lady here, she flashed dirty water in our place. We've been calling you 4 times now. You're not taking no action. And if you do anything, you'll say, oh, they stop people, now this, now that. So what happened? We Element told her that, Element told the lady that, you know you're wrong. If the people take any action, he will be held responsible. So as soon Element left, she came, she said she started making out. She knows senator, she knows BB people, we foreigner here, we full of people, we not get no right here. Now the argument she brought up, we said, okay, but then saying you say like that, you'll resort to the court.
And now, off the home front, U.S. government has imposed sanctions on the head of the Sudan's army and de facto President General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He has been leading one of the two sides in the 21-month civil war that has killed tens of thousands, uprooted over 12 million, and pushed the country to the brink of famine. In a brief statement, the U.S. Department accused President Buhari of destabilizing Sudan and undermining the goal of a democratic transition. The announcement followed reports of the killing of civilians in the central city of Wandimin in recent days. However, this was not mentioned in the statement. However, Sudan's foreign ministry has condemned the sanction and termed it as strange and troubling. Last week, Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, the head of the paramilitary group fighting the army, was also sanctioned by the U.S. government. That's all for the home front, and this is how we come to the end of today's edition of the news program. Before we take leave of you, here are top stories we close the photo. Mother of a 21-year-old man who was reportedly killed by health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital demands justice into the circumstances surrounding her son's death. Ministry of Education announces the procurement and distribution of 6,000 high-quality armchairs for CM secondary school students across the country. Former President and war icon George Weah and entourage will be in Nimba County this weekend for the funeral and burial of the late Senator Prince Johnson, who will be buried tomorrow, Saturday. And off the home front, U.S. sanctioned Sudan Army Chief Burhan over civilian death. On this note, I would like to say many thanks to our news writer, correspondent for making today's news presentation a success. Nathan Toba was here with the news bulletin, and St. Andrews sat at control and ably coordinated the sound. I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for listening and watching.